Jessica. Thanks for that nice comment. It's good to see you. Well, I want to welcome everybody today. We're going to wait a few more minutes as people start coming in. I was going to say happy Thursday, but down here I heard yesterday somebody saying that they call Thursday Baby Friday here. So that was kind of cute. So happy Baby Friday, everybody. So we're all getting ready and used to looking forward to tomorrow when our weekend can kind of kick off. Hi, Leah. How are you? I hope you're having a good day. So as I'm doing my presentation, I have my LinkedIn page up to my right here, which will be when I'm looking at it, probably look to you like I'm looking left. So if you see me looking to the left, it's because I am looking at comments that are being made so that I can make sure that I address people's comments as I go through. I like to try to make my presentations interactive and take questions from people as I'm speaking to enhance everybody's learning experience. So, I will, give you a shout out when I see you and try to get to everybody's questions if they have them. Good morning, Carmen. And oh, good, Leah. I'm glad you're well. And so, as we move through, that's kind of, how I will do on certain subjects when I do some of my LinkedIn live broadcasts that are more coding and things like that in nature and instructive. There'll probably be little bits of stretches where I am not as able to, jump in and pull people's questions in, but we'll kind of work through that. Hi, Charmaine, how are you? Um, I am also looking probably for the next LinkedIn Live to do, I was thinking prolonged services and looking at the difference between the AMA CPT guidelines and what CMS says about them and how CMS made the G codes and just kind of doing examples of different ones and kind of pulling them in to try to get everybody to understand better, or at least be more comfortable with going in between the guidelines. So if y'all have any suggestions for other things that you would like me to see, like to see me do on LinkedIn Live, please just put them in the comments because I get a list with all the comments in it so I can see that and put together stuff that is going to be useful for you in your positions. All right, so I see we're getting some more people in. JM, happy Friday, Junior. So that goes along with my baby Friday. Welcome. Oh, great, Jessica. I'm glad you think that's a good idea. So, all right. So I don't want to hold everybody up. I'm sure more people will probably come on as I'm speaking, and that's okay. But I wanted to get started because I also know that people's time, especially at work, is a precious commodity. So for people who join, late, they'll be able to go and watch the replay and catch anything from the beginning that they missed. We are going to have a YouTube channel soon, so that will be up, and the videos that we do here on LinkedIn Live will also be over on our YouTube channel. So when I get that up, I'll make an announcement on one of the LinkedIn Live broadcasts so that y'all know you can go on over there and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then on the YouTube channel, I may do some extra things that, aren't over on this LinkedIn Live. So I'll try to, put some different things out there too on the different areas that you'll see me on so that, it's not like every time you go to a place that I am or we have something that you're seeing the same things over and over. So I'll also try to put some new content out there too, maybe some little shorter snippets of things and stuff like that. All right. So today, what I wanted to talk about was Zoom burnout or Zoom fatigue. That's one of the things that I think with the pandemic that has, really hit a lot of people hard in working and in their personal lives. Because I think when the pandemic first started and everybody was locked into their homes and nobody saw anybody, then everybody started loading up on Zoom because it was one way that you could still actually see, somebody, and you could at least be semi-social with people, even though you weren't in the same room live face to face with them. And so I think Zoom kind of took off and went crazy, and everybody jumped in and everything had to be done on Zoom. Um, but after a while, it got to where people started to feel like, why am I so tired all the time? And, after I do these things, I just want to go in the closet, and close the door and sit in there. And as it came and we did more and more of it, then this idea of Zoom fatigue started to, show up. And people started to take a look at, what happens to, being totally digital all the time, like how it affects us neuropsychologically, mentally, just in different aspects. So the Psychiatric Times came out with a definition for Zoom fatigue, and you can see it on your screen now. They state it as the tiredness, worry, or burnout associated with overusing virtual platforms of communication. And so I think that's kind of what we're starting to see now, to where it used to be, oh, we're going to have a Zoom call, and you would get kind of excited because that means you got to see other people. And now sometimes it's like, oh, we're going to have another Zoom call, and you just kind of dread it, and it's not seeing the people, it's the other things associated with Zoom burnout that start affecting you. So when looking at Zoom burnout, the side effects that people are experiencing and taking having to deal with are things like the eye irritation, mental fog, where you're kind of done and you're like, I can't even remember what we were just going through or what was going on. Stress, and I've spoken on this a couple times now, and with some people, they have said that. What they're feeling is more stressful because then the cameras are going to be on, and so they have to make sure that they're dressed properly. For us women, we have to make sure our faces are on and all that kind of stuff if a lot of people are going to be looking at us. And then you still have that social detachment, because even though you can see other people on some of those Zoom calls or go to meetings or whichever platform team, Google team or Microsoft team and stuff like that, you're still not sitting with them. And then you have all of the cues that we normally use when we're interacting, live and in the real moment. And I say that because now, for instance, I'm sitting here in my office and I'm broadcasting, but there's like a 10-second delay that goes over to LinkedIn Live for it to, electronically, virtually make it over there. And so you have that issue of the stopping and starting and pausing. And we'll talk about all those kind of things that just kind of lead to more of the delay. And I see that JM had given an ICD-10 code Z73.0 for burnout. And that definitely is a good one. And it will be interesting to see actually making that comment, JM, at what ICD-10, kind of does with these things. If we see more people going to, their physicians and other things because of all of these issues of the irritability and physical tiredness and eye irritation, and if it's getting related back to these kind of virtual issues, that that will be something interesting to see if ICD-10 kind of tries to pick up with it and make some codes so that we can actually get better data on these things. I think that would be very interesting. So I'm going to start in here, and I'm going to show you a little video, and I have 3 of them. 2 of them are kind of short. One of them's a little longer, but I might not show the entire third one. That's the longer one. Although it's hysterical, it does go, it's a little long. So maybe we'll do it in pieces to kind of discuss different things that we see that may add on to the Zoom fatigue factor. So here is my first one.
Okay. So today, what we were going to talk about at this meeting is going to be our audit schedule and what audits we have coming up and what ones that we have currently going, just to kind of see where everybody's sitting at. So
All right. So whose eyes were getting very tired watching that video? It kind of made you squint. In fact, when I play it, I have to sometimes turn my eyes away because it is just too much. So that's one of the kind of things with the background and the lighting that you have to take into account when you're doing virtual meetings to lessen that Zoom fatigue kind of issue that you might not be thinking of. So if anybody wants to, shoot a thumbs up or make a comment to me about that, if you have had that happen or been on the call where you've seen someone presenting in that manner. So again, the little pauses because I have the 10-second delay here. Yeah, I see some thumbs up there. So now the next one I did, and the little actor in this one is my grandson, Frankie. Something that I've seen on the like CNN and Fox News and things like that when they've been showing people and they're doing Zoom calls and they're talking to esteemed professors and things like that. And they have, excuse me, they have visitors that arrive while they're doing their interviews on national television.
talk about today was what we're going to do for the 2023 E&M changes, because what are you doing?
What?
Can you go do something else, please?
Okay.
Sorry about that. But anyway, with the 2023, what did I tell you? I'm sorry. Oh. Okay, so go. Thank you. Sorry. But anyway.
So that I have seen more than once, and there are just some of those things that you can't control, and it is funny and it makes you kind of laugh when you see it and happening. And I always feel so sorry for the people that are being interviewed when those things happen to them. But it is distracting, and depending on what subject matter you're talking about, it makes your brain stop what it's doing and then watch what's going on and then try to re-engage with the presenter again. And doing those stop and starts and those things all add into the fatigue issue that people can end up building up and then having all those other issues that we were talking about before. So with the Zoom fatigue issue, what I found interesting when I was doing some research on this was that Stanford did a study on Zoom fatigue, and they actually came up with what's called a Zeb scale, which stands for Zoom Exhaustion and Fatigue Scale. So you go to this website that Stanford has set up, and I will put the link to it up there for you. So you can go to this website and do a survey where you answer a listing of questions, and Stanford will then score those. They took a bunch of surveys from a bunch of people and they kind of started to subdivide things down, and they really want to try to take a look at individually where your push points or sore points are when it comes to Zoom fatigue or virtual fatigue, whatever you want to call it. And so that it can help you personally figure out what things you need to concentrate on to kind of tweak or help, so that you don't get as many of the side effects from it. So they made this Zeb score, and it measures the effects of video conferencing and then breaks it down into 5 different categories, which are general, social, emotional, visual, and motivational. So you go through and you answer all the questions. It takes maybe, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. I mean, if you stop and you're pondering through it as you answer it. And then when you're done, they give you your Zeph score. And the total Zeph score will go from 15 to 75. So the higher on the score you are, the more that you suffer from the side effects of virtual meetings, so Zoom fatigue. And then it will put you and tell you where you are in rankings with other people. So you can see if you're the 30th percentile for things, or if you're in the, so with the emotional fatigue, that part of the scale, they are looking at the feelings of being overwhelmed and drained after you interact with other people on a virtual call. So it will give you your score for that specifically, and then tell you where you rank there. With each subsection, it will go from 3 low to 15 as being high. And then after you do all 5, it adds up and gives you a total scale. So it also, on the motivational side, that they tell you will relate to the motivation to start an activity and feeling active. When you're done with the Zoom call, it's like, are you like, okay, I just want to sit here now? Or are you, do you easily, shift into other things? And then they have the visual fatigue score, that will tell you how you perceive your vision or visual distress, how tired, how burny your eyes are, that kind of thing. If you get that, or like I said, when you get done with it, it's just kind of like, okay, I need to rest my eyes for a little bit. Social fatigue is looking at the feeling of wanting to be alone after interactions with other people through virtual means. And then their general fatigue is just the superordinate experience of being tired. So you can go and answer all the questions and then see what your Zeph score is and where you rank and fall in respect to other people. So I think that's kind of neat. So make sure you go over to the link that I'm showing here and take the survey and see what your scores are. So now we're going to get to my third video, and I'll show that in kind of pieces as I'll show a piece and then we'll stop for a little bit and see if anybody has any comments on it. So here we go. And as you're watching it, if you want to do some thumbs up or a little kind of icon things up to me so that I can see that everybody's getting, is enjoying and getting good response from it, or make comments on it. And I want you to try to look and start to look at people and see, are these things that you've seen, and watching it like this, how it's maybe affecting you as in relation to those things that we've been discussing. All right. Okay. First, I just want to say, I know we called this meeting kind of quickly, so I appreciate everybody getting on.
Jeffrey, come in here and help me out. I can't, all I see is my picture. Help me out.
And if everybody could please mute themselves, I would appreciate it.
Mute.
Until you're ready
She
to
says
talk.
there's a mute button somewhere, but I don't see it. Where's my, is there a microphone or something? So, well, don't turn my video on. Oh no, because I still got my pajamas on. I got to go change.
So what we were going to go through is.
Oh no.
Yes, Sharon. Yes, no, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. And I didn't get a chance to change, but if I pull it set like this, you won't be able to see my top, will you?
Okay.
Okay.
But what? Oh, okay. Wait. Somebody else is trying to call in now.
You know, we got storms going around all over the place, so who knows?
Well, yeah. Oh, hi, Andre. How are you?
Because I need the CEUs, that's why.
Well, for heaven's sake, where are
CEUs, are we getting CEUs for this?
Well,
Nobody told me to get
look, I
CEUs.
just need the CEUs.
Well, I gotta get a pencil and paper.
I don't
and
even
get it
have,
off.
I don't even
got
have
it
the camera
so I can
on.
write them down.
I don't have the camera on and it's all muted, so we'll just be fine.
Andre?
How are we supposed to watch
They
it
can't
then?
even see me.
Well, for heaven's sake, what are you doing in the meeting then?
I told you I need the CEUs.
Andre?
Did you hear something?
Andre?
Is that the
Andre?
cat?
It's the cat.
Okay, so in watching so far, we see that we have Brenda up in the upper right corner who has her television on behind us, which can be very distracting as you're trying to pay attention to the presenter. And just the general layout where you have the kind of Hollywood Squares, Brady Bunch thing where everybody's all up at once and you're seeing various different backgrounds, some of them virtual backgrounds, some of them, as I said, Brenda with her TV set on behind you. So you're trying to kind of watch and pay attention to everybody that's on the screen. And, you know, that can get kind of hard and distracting. Also, of course, we had many people that are all unmuted at the same time and talking over each other, which is hard to follow. And I see Maria asked, did he get his CEU? So that, of course, to coders is one of the big things when we come on is, you know, do I get CEUs for this? And how do I get my CEUs for this? So we just wanted to make this very playful for everybody. And Miss Sharon, who did not realize that her microphone was not on mute, even though we couldn't see her at the beginning until she got her grandson to help her get on. And by the way, she was doing that by herself. So I love her. I have Jessica here saying, great examples, Betty, Academy Award for Sharon and Frankie and the other one. So yes, Miss Sharon is just wonderful. But as you can see, it's kind of difficult to see what's going on here and to know who's talking. When Andre speaks, of course, it's easier to pick him out because he's the only male that's in the video. But at the beginning, with so many people talking, you're just kind of looking around trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm going to turn it back on again and we'll watch a little bit more.
Oh, is that Betty?
Hi, Andre. Yes, hi, Andre.
Hey, girl, how did she say
Oh my God. Hang on. I'm so sorry.
I'm in
Can you all hear me?
between, but, you know, I'm muted, so.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Oh. You know,
What,
Betty
Betty?
looks
Can you
good,
hear
doesn't
me?
she?
Am I,
She
Betty,
looks
am I
young.
on?
I know, like, come on.
Can you hear me, y'all?
Okay, yeah.
Can everybody hear me now?
They can't hear you either.
Yes, everybody can hear you too.
Okay.
Did you
All
hear
right.
what he
I was
said
talking to my wife,
about
Julie.
him?
Yeah, yeah.
Saw him standing out there on the street corner? I
Okay.
know. Did you hear about that? All the women going by. I know. Oh, wait.
Okay.
What?
Every-
Are
Ladies
we going to
and
talk about
gentlemen.
are we going to
We're
talk about
on.
the round table or not?
Well, yes,
Okay,
we're trying
fine,
to.
fine.
Everybody, if you could
I need the
please,
CEUs.
Yeah, I'm coming.
I-
Hold on.
okay, could you please mute yourselves?
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
I thought I was
So-
muted, actually.
I don't
Yeah,
see the
this-
word mute. I don't see the word mute.
Yeah, what, how
Oh.
do I mute it on here?
But, oh, down on the bottom. Is
Yeah,
that where it
Here
is?
on the bottom.
yeah,
Man.
yes.
This,
like that?
this is just
Like
too
that?
many buttons.
Oh, wait,
Uh,
I went away.
Okay. Well,
many
if you
buttons.
can't figure out how to mute yourself,
Wait a
just
minute.
be quiet for a minute. Just don't say anything.
Well, excuse me.
Okay. I didn't say shush. I said, Okay, so now further on, we have Tanya up in the upper corner there who seems to be having some kind of seizures or something, or scratching or something's irritating her. And everybody, once again, still trying to talk over everybody else and tell people, what they're doing or what they should be doing. And it would just be nearly impossible to hold a meeting like this. And I know, or at least I hope, nobody's ever been on a call that's been this bad, but we wanted to try to, pull a perfect storm in of all the kinds of things that we've seen. As the video goes on a little bit further, we even have, I believe it is Tiffany that brings her dog in, that's sitting on her lap as we're talking. There were just a couple other things as we're going through here, with Tanya up in the corner there, who I will call on for something in just a moment. So I'm going to cut a little bit forward in the video to get to a couple of the other things.
Just be quiet.
Well, it
Okay.
just all depends on how you take it.
Well, that's why I confirmed it.
Why isn't that one lady?
Okay. So
So,
we're supposed to be talking about the coding roundtable topics. So did
That's why I
everybody
didn't
get
like the reviews.
did everybody get the paper I sent to around with the topics on it?
No,
No,
I need
but
you
I
to
didn't
send it
see
to me
anything.
again. Can you send it right now? Wait a minute, let me look.
Okay, I
Wait,
sent
can
it
you
a while
hear-
ago.
can you hear my
I sent it a
answer?
while ago.
Oh, yeah, I found it. I got it.
do you
Okay,
have an
good.
attachment or something?
Yes, I sent it separately.
Can anybody?
I don't see it.
Too many
Oh.
emails. I'm sorry.
Let's
Nobody
see.
hear me. Oh,
Well,
man, nobody even hear
Where
me.
did Tiffany go?
To my printer.
Oh, okay.
I got my
All right.
attachment.
No, Andre, yeah, I see you, Andre, but I
Betty?
can't hear you now. You muted yourself.
Betty,
Yes,
Betty, can you hear
yes.
me?
y-
You didn't hear
yes.
anything I was talking about?
No.
I was answering everybody's questions.
Oh,
All of them
no,
at one
I'm
time?
sorry. No, so let me just go.
Multi-talented,
Yes, let me,
multi-talented.
okay, let
Everybody
me
would
go.
want to hire you, Andre. Oh,
Okay.
Excuse me. That's my alarm to let me know that the thing is going on now. Okay.
You got cookies
okay.
in the oven?
So
I'm
let
here.
me ask the first.
All right, so the external noises coming in, and another common thing with Zoom fatigue, a reason why people suffer from it is, if you noticed, Andre over to the side there was gesticulating and gesturing and going on, but nobody could hear him because he had forgotten to unmute himself. So that is another one of the factors that causes this issue, because you're watching what he's doing, and then for him, he's going on, and then once he realizes nobody heard him, then you have to unmute yourself and then start over again. So when you're presenting and you have some of these issues come up, it affects you as a presenter, because you're on a roll, so to speak, and you're really into your subject and you're talking about it, and then you realize that nobody heard what you said, so you have to stop, unmute, start over again. So you mentally have to back up, and you usually don't explain things exactly in the same way the second time or the third time or the fourth, so there may be a point that you had made originally that this time around, because you're repeating yourself, you didn't make. So it could lead to others that are participating in the video from missing some very good information.
For an OB-GYN, where does the patient fall if leveling based on MDM, no complications other than supervision of pregnancy, but the APN orders lab services and they order 3 separate tests? So that's the
How many
question.
questions was that?
What pregnancy? How many babies has she had?
I don't know. It's
Which
3.
specialty was this?
OB-GYN.
Oh, it's because it's babies.
Yeah, it's
G-I-N?
babies.
Oh, G-Y-N, G-Y-N.
Yes.
Okay,
Now,
got it.
Tanya, Tanya, what are your, since you, OB-GYN is one of your expert areas, what do you think?
Hey, Tanya.
Tanya,
Tanya,
I
Tanya,
can't hear
can't
her.
hear you, Tanya.
Can't
Tanya,
hear her.
Can't
Tanya,
hear you.
Can you hear her?
we can't hear you.
Hear you.
This is
No,
accurate.
I'm
Yeah, what? What did
it's
you
the button
say?
down here.
How can we get CEUs when
It's
we
the
can't
button
hear
down here.
anybody?
okay.
It's the
Yeah,
button down
no,
here.
Tanya,
I found it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I think I got it.
See, I told you I knew the answers.
Tanya, are you
Guys are
drinking?
What?
Are you drinking alcohol on a staff
No,
meeting?
it's grape juice. I just have it in a wine glass.
Oh,
Disguise it, Tanya, disguise it. National championships, roll tide.
yeah, roll tide.
Oh, you boomer sooners!
So there we have another issue, of course. Tanya was imbibing, well, it was grape juice, she says, during the meeting. So don't forget when you're on the calls and you do have your camera on that, you know, others are going to be paying attention to and watching. And not only is that distracting, as you could, you know, see her keep drinking and the others, you may want to make sure that, you know, what you're drinking is something that is acceptable during business hours.
Okay. All right.
What was the question?
Oh, wow. Nice.
Can you repeat the question?
Okay. If we have an OB-GYN, a patient that goes to the OB-GYN, and
But it's global. Okay, then 99213.
okay, what
How
is
can you say
everybody?
that without the chart?
We
I
just
got
use the
my chart.
military guidelines.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
Jessica, did you have any comments? No, Jessica, you're on mute, honey. We can't hear you. No, we
She's
can't
not
hear
on
you.
mute. She just ain't talking loud.
It's the button
Her
over here.
microphone ain't signed off.
It's this button down here.
No, it's
Why
on
are you
this
saying it's in the right
No, it's
corner
over
when you're
here.
saying in the left corner?
No, it's over here.
No, it's over on, it's right
But
here.
what-
Okay,
It's in my left corner.
Exactly.
okay.
She
Sorry,
looks
babe.
upset.
That's all right.
Sorry.
Take
No, I'm
another
sorry.
drink, Tanya. You got it, girl.
This one's leaving me to drink.
Oh,
Grape juice.
okay.
Roll tide.
Boomer sooners.
Okay, guys.
I thought that one was drinking.
Brenda, are you in your pajamas?
Yeah, well, that's because it was the last. Yeah, sorry. I am.
It's like
okay.
noon.
Okay,
Okay.
well, I was still in my pajamas and I just realized the meeting was now, so
It's
I
like noon and she's still in
I
her
just-
pajamas.
just jumped on.
And then I've been on mute, so I don't know how to get on mute.
No, I'm still on
for
mute.
my-
Okay, Jessica, you're not on mute anymore.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
Okay, thank you.
We can hear you now. Thanks. Okay. Well, okay.
So was it 99213? Was I right?
Fruit cobbler.
Fruit cobbler.
Yeah. Doesn't it sound delicious?
All right. So as you can see, there was just a whole lot of wrong going on in there. I think we hit just about everything that we're looking at from the factors that come in with the Zoom fatigue and what excuse me, and what causes it. So I take a look at it and call it my Fab 5 when we're looking at this. So here our first ones will be technology, being as we were seeing with watching everything kind of going on and having the mute and unmute issues. Sometimes you get calls and at the end of that video actually, Andre does a nice little thing for where he freezes his up and then it just kind of drops off while he's talking. That has happened. And it's happened to me before. And it can, you're going and talking and then you have left the meeting and don't realize you've left the meeting, and the people that are on the meeting are watching, and then all of a sudden it just dead off stops. And then everybody's kind of trying to figure out what to do. And so once again, it's making your brain just get jumbled and jump to too many things at once. And that's where the over fatigue issue, starts to come in. Also, the speech pattern flows when you're talking with other people and you're trying to have an interactive meeting, and you have that time delay issue that we were speaking about, that, we have, as I'm telling you on the LinkedIn Live, we have a little bit of a delay going on. So I say something and then somebody else wants to say something, and they have to remember to unmute themselves. So they remember to unmute themselves. So while they're doing that, the other person is waiting for them to respond. So you've got that kind of pausing going back and forth. And so sometimes you may not know if the other person heard you. So you start to talk again, and that's when all of a sudden they come in. So, you're interrupting each other. We also have the body language thing, where I've been on ones where people have sat extremely close to the camera to where it's unnerving, so close. So when you're doing it, if it's cutting off, everything but your head, then people are also missing your body gesturing and things like that you do. That some people do. Those of y'all that have seen me speak before and know me and just have seen me on here, that I use my hands a lot when I talk. And so if all you're seeing is that person's head, then it kind of you kind of miss sometimes some of those nuances that if you were sitting in the room watching them, that you would be able to pick up on. And then you have the visual overload with the bad backgrounds and the multiple things and those Brady Bunch squares where, you're trying to watch everything. Like that video I was showing, I have people that tell me they go back and rewatch it because it's, so fun to watch, that they notice something different each time they go back and watch it, because they can't see everything going on at once. And so when you're trying to do that during a meeting, it makes it very hard to be able to participate and pay attention and keep everything sorted out in your head. And then you have the oral overload. So when you had multiple people there all having conversations, or you have dogs barking, which is classic for many, many virtual meetings these days, is you'll hear at some point their dogs barking. I have mine outside my office here. They like to come in here and sit with me. So when I do these things, I shut the door and lock them out. And so they sit at the door and they stare at me, waiting for the opportunity to come back in. But if, the mail person or a UPS truck or something like that pulls up here, you can still hear them, but it's not as bad as if they were in here. And that's distracting. It's distracting for people that are watching. It's distracting for me presenting, because again, it throws me off. And then I have to remember, okay, where was I and what was I trying to say? So those are things that all factor in with adding to the issues that people have with the side effects of too many virtual meetings. So what do? I wanted to make sure I gave some helpful tips for assisting with the Zoom fatigue. So first one is seeing eye to eye, I call it. So make sure when you're participating in a virtual meeting that you have your camera at your eye level, because people that are watching, they're seeing where you're looking. So if your camera is too low, you're kind of looking down the whole time. It either looks like you're not connecting with them, or you're paying attention to something else, or if it's set too high and then you're always looking up, it's kind of the same thing. So you want to try to have your camera right at your eye level, so it looks like you're looking right at the participants that are, on the other side. And then that not ready for your close-up, like I was saying, make sure that you have more than just your face all the way up in the camera, because that kind of gets a little daunting. You want your, the upper part of your body at least to try to show. The location, that we were looking at making sure that you're in a quiet space so that you're not getting yourself disturbed by different kinds of noises and things going on. And that way you can pay attention to what's going on. Take your virtual breaks. One of the things that I notice, I've been to many conferences now virtually, and they still build in break times between, just as if you were at a live in-person conference, because you need time to get from room to room, right? And you need time maybe to go to the restroom, time to pick up something to drink or whatever. So when you go to the virtual events, a lot of times they have those same breaks built in. And when people are attending a virtual conference, and I have found myself guilty of this, so I try to pay attention, not do it so much. So you're watching a presentation, the presenter gets done, it's time to take a 10-minute break between this presentation and the next one. And so you click off of the meeting and you immediately go right to your phone and start clicking on it. You're not giving yourself any kind of a break. So make sure when you get breaks and are attending these things that you actually, at least a couple of the times in between, I know people, depending on your position, you do have to check your messages and things like that, but at least try to carve out a few minutes to where you're just doing nothing, where you're kind of giving your brain just a few minutes to clear out and get ready for the next presentation. And then how about the ambiance? As we were showing in that very first one where I had the light behind my head, how it made you squint and it was hard to look at. And it really affects how people, and if people can be open to the messages that you're giving. And then use a phone instead. Everything doesn't have to be by Zoom. Or if you want to do it by Zoom or go to meeting or whatever, just so that you can get like 12 people on to discuss something, maybe tell people, turn your cameras off. You don't have to put your camera on, so you can kind of use it as a phone call, except now you're able to communicate with more people, because at home you might not have those phone conference kind of devices where you can tag in 10 or 12 or more employees at once on a call. And then for looking at, try not to stack up meeting after meeting after meeting. Don't back to back Zoom calls, because that, once again, you're not giving your brain time to absorb everything that just went on and to process things and just kind of zen back out before you start a new one. So at some places they've instituted Zoom free days where like Friday, it's like, okay, no Zoom calls on Friday. We're not going to schedule anything like that for anybody, so that we have a day that we can just concentrate on what our work is or have a relaxed day. So that's something to consider also, to institute something like that, to where it's not every day for hours at a time that you're trying to do these types of calls. So I wrote an article in BC Advantage for the Zoom fatigue issue that has these tips and those things in them. So I put the link up on the screen for you. So please feel free to pull that up and go take a look at it and read through some of the different things, or if you forgot some of the tips, because as we were just talking about, because there's so much going on and you're trying to pay attention, that sometimes you miss some of these things, and you may say, well, I know she had said something about this one study or doing this thing to help, but I can't remember what it was. Then you can go ahead and refer back to the article, or refer back to this video that will be on LinkedIn and eventually on our YouTube page to watch it again, to pick up anything that you might have missed. or you can always feel free to contact me, and I will be happy to answer any questions that you have. And I will see now, does anybody have any questions, comments, anything like that they would like to make to either to me or to the group as tips or pointers that you've used to lessen your Zoom fatigue? Okay, I'm not seeing anything come up yet. I'll give it a few minutes. Oh, one thing that some people did tell me that they did at their office is they would schedule their meetings from only 1 to 4 for Zoom or virtual meetings, or in the morning, if they have morning people, they would schedule them from 8 to 10, or they would pick certain hours. Maria is asking if I could share the links in the chat. Yes, Maria, I certainly will. So that's the one for my article. And then let me find the one for here's the one for the Stanford survey. And you're welcome, Maria. Yeah, I thought the Stanford survey was pretty interesting because it shows you the different rankings and maybe something that you might be more sensitive to. Like it showed that I was most sensitive to the visual issues, and I wear contact lenses, so maybe that plays into it to where my eyes just kind of get irritated a little more easily. They're a little bit more sensitive, so you can kind of see which thing affects you the most, and then see what kind of steps you can take to lessen that particular thing. And overall, it might make a big difference on how you're feeling from that fatigued aspect when you get done. And so that maybe you will be able to participate in virtual meetings and still get the kind of information that you need to out of it, and participate in it, and give good ideas and information, and engage in it, because that's really what we still need to do. Even though we're technically apart, we're technically together when we're doing virtual meetings. So we want to make sure that we all engage as much as possible. We have people that are starting to go back to offices. I'm hearing a lot of people, and of course in our field, if you're in a practice and patients are coming back now, there is need to be in the office, to be there with the patients and for the patients. So I don't see any other questions. What did y'all think of the videos? Did you like the videos? Were they helpful? If you could just either give me a hand clap or a thumbs up, or make a comment on that for me, I would appreciate it. My next LinkedIn Live will probably be October 27th, I believe, or no, October 21st. I'm sorry. That'll be in 2 weeks. I might do one next week, but I'm not sure, because I will be moving this weekend. So I'll be a little, a little out of sorts and trying to get everything set up in my new office. So I want to make sure that that's set up before I do another broadcast. But if you have, as I said, any ideas for different things you would like to see, or different subjects you'd like me to cover, please feel free to add them in the comments, or message me on LinkedIn, or email me. I put the website here on the bottom of the screen, so you can visit the website and take a look at things that are there. And there's also the emails there listed for the site, so that you can contact us and give some ideas for different subject matter. I hope that everybody found this useful and kind of fun on a baby Thursday or baby Friday to start to help get us ready for the weekend, but that you also got some useful tips out of it and things that can help you to where it will lessen that Zoom fatigue issue for you so that you can stay productive on the job and working with your other coworkers and staff in the offices. So thank you very much for attending, and I will see you next time. Thanks.